Hello everyone. Today I'll be sharing with you what are the typical modules of e-commerce store design? This is a question that many sellers often overlook, yet it's crucial when they actually start designing their stores. Many people, when they hear about store design, immediately think making posters, changing templates, adjusting styles. But what truly determines whether a store is easy to use is never how many images you create, but rather whether the modules are clearly defined and in the correct order. Below, I won't speak from a design perspective, but rather from the perspective of actual e-commerce operations and user browsing logic, clearly explaining the core modules of store design. First, the conclusion. Store design isn't about creating pages, it's about building a structure. Many store designs become increasingly chaotic, not because of insufficient design skills, but because the modules weren't clearly defined from the beginning. The correct understanding should be e-commerce store design, putting information with different functions into different modules, and then arranging them according to the user's decision-making order. Once the modules are clearly defined, the design process actually becomes simpler. 2. More modules aren't always better, especially for beginners. Before officially breaking down modules, let's clarify one premise. More modules don't necessarily make a store more professional. Many stores have the following problems: a ton of activity sections, a ton of recommendation sections, a ton of concept sections. It looks like the content is abundant, but users don't know where to start. More modules. Clear information, disorganized modules. User confusion. Third, e-commerce store. Design, the 6 most basic core modules. Whether you're on Taobao, Tmall, or other platforms, a store that converts normally has a highly similar core module structure. The following 6 are the most basic and commonly used. Module 1, Store Header Positioning Module, most important. This is the entry point to the entire store. It only does one thing: tell users what you sell in the shortest amount of time. In this module, the focus isn't on design, but on clarity, including main product categories. Core selling points, who it's suitable for. If this module isn't clear, no matter how well designed the subsequent modules are, users won't have the patience to look at them. Many stores have low conversion rates, and the problem lies here. Module 2, Core Product Display Module, Core of Sales. This is the module closest to a sale. Its sole purpose is to present the most likely to sell products to the user. Common mistakes are: all products are displayed flat. No hierarchy, everything seems like a side note. The correct approach is clearly identify the main products, reduce distractions, let users know which to look at first. Having many products isn't the problem. A lack of focus is. Module 3, Product Categorization Navigation Module, Help with Finding. When your product selection grows, users will inevitably have one need: can I quickly find what I want? The purpose of this module is to help users categorize items, reduce search costs, and improve browsing efficiency. However, please note, categorization must be from the user's perspective, not your internal management logic. Categorization is to save users time, not just for your own convenience. Module 4, Trust and Basic Endorsement Module, Reducing Concerns. In most e-commerce scenarios, users don't lack the desire to buy, but rather have concerns. The significance of this module is to assure users that you are serious, not just selling on a whim, and that someone will take responsibility if problems arise. Even if the content is basic, placing it in the right place can significantly reduce hesitation. The trust module is not for showing off, but for alleviating concerns. Module 5, Activity Benefit Prompt Module, Driving Decision-Making. When users are already interested, one more driving action is needed. The purpose of this module is to inform the customer of the benefits of buying now, whether there are any promotions, and whether it's worth ordering now. However, please note, the promotion module is for decision assistance, not the main focus of the page. Overly aggressive promotions will disrupt the overall flow. Module 6, Content Supplement and Extension Module, Deepening Understanding. This is the most easily misused module. Its purpose is to provide supplementary explanations, to answer questions, to deepen understanding. However, this is contingent on the preceding modules have already clearly explained the key points. If the preceding modules haven't been clear, rushing to extend the content will only make the page more complex. The content module is icing on the cake, not a lifeline. IV. Module order is more important than the modules themselves. Many sellers overlook one point. The same modules in different orders will have completely different effects. A generally safer order is, first, position, then products, then categories, then build trust, then activities, then supplementation. This essentially follows the user's decision-making path. If the order is disrupted, the user's understanding cost will increase. V. When is it necessary to re-deconstruct modules? When you start experiencing these situations, the page becomes increasingly complex. More and more modules, but conversion rates don't improve significantly. This is often not a design problem, but rather that the module structure is no longer suitable for the current stage. At this point, what needs to be done is not to add modules, but to reorganize. 6. A very practical suggestion for sellers. Don't pursue completeness from the beginning. Especially for new stores and stores in their early stages of growth, fewer and clearer modules are more effective. Once the business is running smoothly and demand is stable, you can gradually add modules, which is much more stable than piling them all at once. In short, e-commerce store design is not about who has more pages or more images, but about who has a clearer information structure. Once the modules are clearly defined and in the correct order, the renovation process truly begins to serve conversion.